Years, but they've made up and they're best of friends now.
If anyone knows what he's talking about, please press red now.
No need, it's Street Cred Sudoku.
Are you a dedicated follower of fashion? Are you up on your celebs and down with the kids? Are you so hip it hurts? Or do you just have a hip that hurts? Either way, you better keep watching. This is Street Cred Sudoku. Welcome to Street Cred Sudoku, the show that dives headlong into popular culture and cracks its head on the bottom. In half an hour, we'll discover who knows the word on the street and whose cred is in the red. I'm Andy Goldstein, and as always, I have two team captains. The first one is the king of comedy. Ladies and gentlemen, please say a big hello to Robin Ince. Opposite Robin is the Earl of Laughter. Rufus Hound is here, everyone. Joining Robert tonight, it's Josie Long. And on Rufus's team tonight is the one and only Mr. Paul Foot. Now, this is how the show works. Over the next 4 rounds, I'll be asking our contestants questions, and for every one they get right, they'll make a mark on our Sudoku scoreboard. Robin's colour is blue and Rufus's is orange, and over the course of the game, they'll be trying to colonise as many numbers on the board as possible. The team with the most of their colour on the board at the end of the show are declared the winners and are carried shoulder high back to their homes, while the losers will stay behind and stack the chairs. Luckily, they don't have to finish the Sudoku grid. That's where you come in. You can play at home by visiting this website and downloading it. The prize for this is, as always, the satisfaction of a task well done. And so on to round one, Got Your Number. Got Your Number is all about which celebrity's cred has gone up and which has gone down. Dotted around the board are some famous faces, and behind each one lurks a number. But what is the connection between the name and the number? Robin, you're first. Your celebrity is Chantel Houghton.
I'm glad you told me that, to be quite honest.
You wouldn't have got it,
because immediately I thought it was that woman I keep having to chase away from my skip.
The number is 300,000.
There's that thing, a number of times she said, oh my God, on Big Brother.
It's not
that. Can you have 300,000 hair extensions? Not necessarily on her head, but she actually believes herself to be some form of missing link and has them hanging off her body, like that. And she merely walks like a kind of a hairy hedge around the East End while people cheerily wave at her.
So I thought it would be the amount she would command if she were a prostitute.
Have you tried to ask her if she would sleep with you?
Yes.
And how much did she quote you?
Well, she said 400,000, but I reckon I could have knocked her down. It's all hypothetical, of course, because as we know, she is not a prostitute.
She's not, of course
she
not.
is a talented...
Singer-songwriter.
Yeah, OK.
that's what it is.
Robin, I can put you out your misery because the correct answer is it's the amount of pounds she's got for her autobiography at the age of just 22. Imagine if she'd have waited another 5 years. Think what she would have got then. Nothing, I imagine. Rufus, it's your turn.
Right.
Heather Mills, and the number is 112.
Is it the number of legs she has? Is you times the actual answer by 112? Is it the number of German men who've wrapped themselves around her and cried, Ich liebe dich?
Ich liebe what?
Dich.
Oh.
It's German for I love you.
You're close with the word German being in the answer. Does that help?
The number of shots.
Come on,
the number
keep
of
going.
shots in existence.
Shots of
her tittens.
Do you know what? I'm going to give you a point purely because I can't remember the last time I heard the word tittens. So I'm going to give you a point. 112 is the number of pages of photos showing Heather Mills McCartney in the German educational book, The Joys of Love. Heather has insisted the book was merely a lover's guide self-help manual, a bit like that well-known travel guide Debbie Does Dallas. Josie, this one is for you. Keith Richards and the number 8.
Is it the number of times in his entire actual life that someone's gone to him, do you want a drink, Keith? And he's gone, oh, not today, cheers.
I'll pass.
Is it the number of times we had to take him up intensive care when he come to my birthday? Ruined it. Ruined it.
Is it the number of times he said to someone, look, I'm just a 6-year-old man climbing up a coconut tree. What is the worst that could happen?
The answer is he recently fell out of a tree which was 8 feet. Afterwards, he appeared confused, disorientated and incoherent. So no change there, then. And finally, Paul, let's see who you're playing with. It's Prince Philip, and the number is 496.
Right. Is that the number of Chinese people he's upset this week?
It's not that.
No. Is it the age he would be if he were a human?
It's not that either.
No. Is it the number of miles he has walked 3 paces behind the Queen this year? Always 3 paces behind, just following her around.
So what's the 496?
The number of miles.
No.
The clue is in what I'm saying.
Sorry.
Just so you know, in future, just to listen to the words which I say, which are in the language of England, and then you just translate that and work out whether it's correct.
OK.
Obviously, I understand.
Paul, I apologise.
Yes, that's all right, Andy. Is it the number of times he's had sex with the Queen with the number 96 put after it?
The answer is he's 496 in line to the throne. This is not because he's married to the Queen, but because he's the great-great-grandson of Queen Victoria, or, as he'd probably say, the great-great-grandson of that fat German cow. At the end of that round, Rufus's team on 1 point, and Robin's on 0.
Oh, what is
And so on to round 2, word on the street. The word on the street is where our teams get to show off the breadth or indeed the limitations of their street vocab. Each team gets a street word or phrase and has to offer 2 different definitions. All the other team have to do is work out which one is the correct definition. And before we start, can I just say this is nothing like Call My Bluff. They've got 3 on each team. Robin's team, you go first, and your word is...
Fur-kid.
That's your word. Rufus and Paul, please give us your definitions.
Jerry Halliwell, Paris Hilton, Sharon Osbourne, what do they all have in common? Well, apart from all being proud owners of a vagina, in Jerry Halliwell's case, 2, they are forever associated with their love of pets. But with their millionaire lifestyles and their love of the finer things, celebrities often spoil their 4-legged companions. So a fur kid is a pet that is pampered so much that it's treated more like a baby than an animal. A fur kid. A fur kid.
OK. Paul?
May I first of all say that definition was incorrect. This is the correct definition.
Oh, mind game.
Don't get that on Call My Bluff, you know. The word fur kid is an adjective, and it means broken. It's very simple, it just means broken. It could be used, for example, in the following phrases. Oh, don't use that vase, it's completely fur-kid. So it's very simple, it means broken.
OK, good stuff.
Do you think I could get on Call My Bluff? Because it's a slightly higher fee, isn't it?
Right, I'm undoubtedly going to go for, even though both of them sound nonsense, your one's too specific and obvious, your one you've just been throwing us with use of your hair, and the fact that I'm always wooed by you slightly, Paul, because you look like the son of the child catch from Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
We'll find out who is the who's lying.
Yes.
It was Rufus Howard, yeah. We got there in the end. Yes, a fur kid is indeed a pet that's treated more like a child. Bad news if you were, say, Gary Glitter's dog. Rufus's team, here is your street slang phrase.
DNA trip.
OK, Robin and Josie, give us your definitions.
All right, then, here's your definition. It's very simple. 3 months after an ill-advised one-night stand, this is the worrying journey to the doctors for a test to establish whether the child is yours. Obviously, it does not have to be a doctor's. It can also be the studio of Trisha or any other daytime show, wherever you think you'll get the best professional help. Anglia Television or a doctor, I just don't know. So it's basically, if you imagine, the kind of people who end up and you see them on television and you think in the old days you'd have to pay a shilling and go into a tent to see someone like that, finding out whether it's their child.
Josie?
the act of pushing your beliefs and traditions onto others when you should actually just get off my back, because the fact is, it's perfectly fine to cut your own hair. It doesn't make me look like some kind of unisex retard.
OK,
Could you possibly relate your answer to the actual word?
DNA trip.
Brilliant.
Colon. The act of pushing your beliefs and traditions onto others.
Well, it's obviously not Josie's, is it? I mean, it's a load of rubbish.
It doesn't seem to have any real relation to DNA trip.
Robin's answer is the correct one.
You going for Robin? Well, let's see who's been lying and when they ought to have been telling the truth. And it is...
You're fun, you're an idiot.
Yes, a DNA trip is tediously pushing your beliefs or ethnic traditions on others. This can take many forms, from the relatively mild making people wear a kilt to your Scottish wedding, all the way up to that crime against humanity, the Kaylee. Just time to check the grid, and as you can see, both teams evenly matched with 1 point each. After the break, there's more time for the teams to impress or embarrass themselves, so we'll see you in part 2.
Join me, Nick Hancock, to look at the lighter side of your